She could die. He could live forever. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
Okay.
Oh,
The one for the book is somehow worse.
what is it?
There's a
So,
book.
well,
Yes, this is
first,
based off a novel.
it's kind of based off a novel. So what they did is while they were filming, they printed out the script with a bunch of pictures of the cast and made it into a novel so they could sell it before the movie came out so they could claim it was based on a novel.
Oh my god.
The novel's full title is The Last Vampire on Earth. What it you found out that you were dying and met someone that forever.
What it though?
What?
I want to
Asking those what it questions.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. This is episode 87, and maybe the last episode of I Hope You Suffer.
I brought it down.
My name is Nathan.
I'm Kit.
I am pouring myself an entire bottle of wine.
And we watched The Last Vampire on Earth from 2010, which was pretty good.
Solid, in my opinion.
I mean, you did watch it at least twice now.
That's true. That's more than Tsunami.
Yeah, I watched Tsunami twice, but this is the new worst movie for me. This beats The Elf and Tsunami. This is definitely Katie's new worst.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, literally 4 minutes into the movie, I was like, "Oh no!"
I don't know.
Oh no!
I don't know how they found actors worse than the kids in the lock-in. Because like every actor in this movie like stumbled over their words numerous times, and like half the time looked like we're for sure just reading from their script on camera.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, yeah. Like the main character, there were so many times when she was supposed to be like looking at the spoiler, the last vampire on Earth, and she was like, instead of looking at his face, she was just like literally looking at cue cards like over his head. And so it's either like that or like any of the side characters were just like, this is gonna be so much fun. I'm very excited.
Oh my
No,
god, that's
guys, really, I'm really excited. I love being in plays. And I was like, oh,
there wasn't
Whatever, Chad did a great job.
Chad.
there wasn't a single person acting in this movie above their monotone speaking voice. Like, it's
No.
crazy. I don't know how this movie got made at all.
Mafia
don't-
money.
It has so I don't
Mafia money and God.
I like it's just everything about this was baffling to me on every level. From the choice to record the entire thing through an Instagram filter.
Why was every single shot in the movie a close-up of a face?
Well, also there's like a black frame around it too, like that like fuzzy frame on the ends of.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate it so much.
I don't think there's a single wide shot in the movie. Like, even when there's a big group gathering, it's like, it just goes from face to face of the group.
It's like someone's ear from behind.
By big group gathering, you mean the one shot there was like 5 people in it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't even.
This was a movie, I think.
I don't.
Should we warn there's spoilers in this episode?
Yeah, just in case you're really. This is the one, like, everyone was like, oh man, I need to watch The Lockdown, haha. If you really want to watch like, this is the one for you to watch
No,
because
no, 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 don't. No one ever watched this movie. The Lock-In at least is
No, please do.
funny. Like, at least there was parts to laugh at, like dudes swinging the chair at the window and shit. There was nothing in this movie.
Are you telling me that him playing ping pong with himself, like
listen,
just shittily
yeah,
sped up, wasn't funny?
I guess his flash moves were.
that was my favorite part of the movie because the shot went on for so long. And I was actually just going to bring that up because the plot keywords for this movie are unintentionally funny, reference to Kentucky Fried Chicken, warning, this movie obviously deals with somebody who has AIDS, so AIDS, and religious fanatic, and then ping pong. Those are like the first handful.
I wish the whole
Amazing.
movie was him playing ping pong.
Me too.
I wonder what other films have reference to Kentucky Fried Chicken as a plot keyword.
I bet there's a lot.
Little Nicky, and that's about it.
Space Jam,
God,
apparently.
I've seen a lot of like stuff on Twitter about Little Nicky lately, and I don't know why.
Because it rules.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. There's actually a lot of movies that have reference. The Last Vampire on Earth is number 14 on the list, so. Number 18 is something called Pickle Fried Chicken at KFC, question mark. It's a documentary.
What?
And then the same person has a video, is Honey Sesame Chicken the best Panda Express item?
No. Next question.
Okay, well.
So, this movie is basically Twilight if Twilight was made by some emo kids with an iPhone and an Instagram filter. It also maybe only saw a brief synopsis of what Twilight was about.
Yeah, and the thing, I didn't know that he, until you had said something, made other just like adaptations of other movies. But like, no shame, I've seen all of the Twilights or whatever. And there's a couple scenes in this movie where they take the script like literally from Twilight and then just add different like when she's like finding out he's a vampire and she's like, the cold hands, blah blah blah, hematology, and they just like add words to make it, but it's like literally the same script. So I don't know.
Is somebody in Twilight a Jehovah's Witness?
Well, no.
Yeah, well, who cares then?
The Jehovah's Witness thing confused me too because like I don't really know too much about it, but some of the stuff didn't seem.
I know that Jehovah's Witnesses do not have pastors.
Right. And then I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff.
Do they hate vampires?
I think that's a pretty normal trait.
Yeah.
It's universal.
That's what they're usually coming to your house to talk to you about.
Vampire safety. Yeah.
Just to make sure you're not a vampire.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well,
that's why they come to your house instead of invite you to their house. Because, like, if you are, they don't want to invite you in. You know, gotta be careful.
That makes sense. This piece of shit was directed by Vitaly Versace, who has directed Aladdin, Castaway, Jungle Book, Make a Wish. I think what is supposed to be a take on Psycho that's got some gobbledygook for a plot summary.
Psycho.
Buffalo bee beef or whatever that fucking phrase was.
Oh, I love it. I want to watch it just based off of that.
There was something like when I looked through, I was trying to like see what some of like all the actors had done besides this, and spoilers, like pretty much all of them have only done this. But there was like one or two that were in another movie that he like produced called like Warning Apocalypse 2012 or some shit like that. That I can't tell as if it's a documentary or a fake movie, or like an actual movie, but it looks like
Right.
straight up garbage too.
Yeah, nobody has a headshot again.
Nor do they deserve one.
I mean, no,
I'm-
but
Would you want your face like attached to this film for people that aren't gonna watch it?
Oh my god, can you imagine being one of these like two actors that are on the poster? Like,
Absolutely not. In any context.
you would have to just like deform your face, burn off your fingerprints, like just get like your entire identity erased and start over from scratch. This movie and the quote-unquote novel it's based off of were directed or written by Mandy Abraham. And this movie on IMDb, like the top 5 credits are not the 2 main actors.
no, I guess they just did it in order of appearance, I guess.
Which is very weird.
Yes, because they don't have names even.
Hot take, disheveled girl, best character in this movie.
Back.
Is she the bite me girl?
I don't even know. I just know somebody's credited as disheveled girl.
She was the disheveled one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I definitely thought that she was going to be the main character, but it was just a little vampire humor, you know.
You can barely tell. They all look the same.
Yeah.
Incredible the uniformity of the hair in this film.
Oh, and the like massive black rings around their eyes, and everybody looks
Yeah.
like they just fell out of the Black Parade fucking My Chemical Romance video.
My Chemical Rambo.
I mean,
I'd watch that.
Yeah, same.
It's like Toxic Avenger meets Rambo.
I was just assuming it's like Rambo, but he's just got eyeliner on.
He's a scene kid.
Yeah, he's got the swoopy
His
haircut.
parents don't understand him.
He's shooting ties to teenagers.
Skinny ties.
So this movie stars Mackenzie Grimmett as Chloe and Michael Bull as Aurelius. Just the worst fucking...
One of my favorite things about this movie is people like just
saying his
calling
name like it's
saying his
normal.
name. Yeah, like his name was like Scott or something like that. This is my friend Aurelius. Oh, hey.
When like the little kid is telling the parents about him and says it, I was like, oh my god. I heard Chloe and her boyfriend Aurelius talking, and
I admire the dedication of keeping Aurelius as a name for like 2,048 years.
What's crazy though is like it's not like it's not like he had a crazy name in Twilight. It was Edward.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they felt the need to just give him some fucking insane like space alien name.
They need you to believe that he's old timey and met Jesus. Okay.
That's right. Holy crap. Oh my
I
god.
wish that was part of the plot.
It was.
Wait,
It was.
was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Whenever he reveals himself, she's like, "Did you meet Jesus?" And he goes, "I did. He was a great man."
He was like, I heard him speak a couple of
This
times.
is the worst movie I've ever seen.
He says he heard Jesus speak a couple of times and then like 5 exclamation points because he was a nice man. Oh, okay, yes. All right.
I was in
Fine.
tears when he said that.
Look,
That whole scene
Great man.
just
And-
like kept escalating because at first I was like, why the choice to make him 2,000 years old? Why 2,000? That's so extreme.
I mean, I don't know.
You gotta give all the other vampires time to die off.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's
Then it's that he's actually the last vampire on Earth, and that bothers me. He's just like a vampire on Earth.
Yeah, like what does that have to do with the movie at all?
this movie
also?
would have been amazing if it was just like Twilight mixed with like I Am Legend.
Yeah.
I was eating garlic knot barbecue seitan pizza while I was watching this, so I was barely paying attention.
I don't blame you. It looked amazing.
It was pretty good.
You were protecting yourself.
I was
from
gonna say,
garlic.
was the garlic a precaution?
Like I hit a point where I think I paused it at like 15 minutes where it felt like I'd been watching it for like 6 hours, and I was like, I can't fucking deal with this. All right, well, I got no notes, so I hope you suffer, but why? Like I don't even know where to fucking start. This is just straight up bad.
It's yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's
Okay.
like there's no way I'm gonna be able to find him. There's n you know, I'm just like, how is it? It is just really bad, and I feel bad being like, this is like literally the worst thing I've ever seen because like people had like I don't know. Do they know it's bad? The people that
there's
made it?
no
I don't know.
way anybody making this movie took it seriously.
That.
Like, their acting
isn't
is
it isn't-
atrocious.
Yeah, it's like if the point of it was for it to like I obviously haven't seen any of his other movies, but if the point of it is to be so bad that it's funny, it just like doesn't even hit that mark, even though like we're laughing about how ridiculous it is, but like to watch this movie is very painful. It was very hard to get through.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
Why was it so long?
extremely not good. Like, and it's not even long. It's an hour and 19 minutes.
It felt like 4 hours of movie. And it's like it does everything wrong. I don't know what was what they shot this movie on. Everything looked terrible. The acting was bad. It does this thing that absolutely kills me in movies where they never stop playing music. There's like music playing the whole time.
And it's so loud.
Like every time there's like it's very loud. Then they also have this like mix of like trying to do like creepy piano music, like the Twilight theme song or whatever. But then there's like also like indie sort of music, but it's like every single scene has music. There's like
they have the music like flip flop from like where you'd expect. Like all the serious scenes are like really upbeat, weird, poppy indie stuff, and then whenever it's like something goofy, like he's doing the ping pong thing, it's the slow, sad like piano music.
yeah, and it's like song and then another song transitioning into a song and then a transition. I'm just like, oh, it's just nonstop. It doesn't ever stop.
It's crazy because it's like the music is so loud and the dialogue is all so low that like there were scenes that you could like without closed captioning, I don't think I would have been able to make out what anybody was saying.
Yeah, no.
Probably the best. That's what I did, and I just didn't get half the movie. Maybe that's why I had a good time.
And also, like, Aurelius was, like, obviously trying to be, like, brooding, like, cool emo vampire guy or whatever, but
Very hunchy.
Yeah.
Does vampirism, like, fuck up your posture?
Yeah, it turns you into Mr. Burns.
But like the way that he delivered his lines were just so like matter of fact, like that it was just weird. Whenever he was trying to be like, I mean, I think they were trying to make him seem like he was being polite, like like he's got really proper manners because he's whatever. But it was just like the dialogue was so weird. He was just like, I'm sorry, I'm not eating my food. I don't mean to be impolite. I'm a buffoon. I ate a big lunch. I just wasn't sure. Man, you're so great. Thank you for having me in your home. And they're like, oh, he's so charming. And I'm like, what? Now.
I wish he had called himself a buffoon.
I did. I was like literally trying to be like, did he call himself a buffoon in this movie at some point?
No, I think he said something like, I've lost. I don't know what he said, but like.
So like the general plot of this movie is like Aurelius is obviously the last vampire on Earth, quote unquote. And
Allegedly.
Chloe is his love interest, who is a Jehovah's Witness, but also discovers that she has AIDS. And like about 3 minutes before the movie ends, decides she wants to become a vampire to cure it. She gets it in the most convoluted way possible. That you find out she went on a mission trip to Africa and saved a little girl who had it and got a little bit of her blood in a cut. And it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's the other thing that's like really weird about it is I guess nobody knows, like her family doesn't know even. And also like anytime she goes to the doctor keeps talking about the drug cocktail that she's on, and I'm like, I myself am not on a drug cocktail, but I'm pretty sure that that's not what doctors call it. And they just he literally says the term drug cocktail like 10 times when he's talking to her.
Yeah, all of that's not good. It's just like uncomfortable, and like every time that any of like it's just again like every other dialogue in the movie, it's just like, yeah, I just discovered that I have this disease. I really want it to be cured. This is how I act throughout the entire movie. This is my range from happy to sad. Like, it's just like, no, it's just, it's like nobody fucking tried at all to like act in this movie. It drives me crazy.
I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can we talk about how amazing it is that Aurelius, the vampire, is going to college to study hematology?
Okay, this plot point made me really mad because, like, first of all, he only knows 2 blood diseases, which are AIDS and diabetes, because those are the 2 things that he keeps talking about. When she finds out that he is 2,000 years old and he is going to go to school to learn how to cure blood diseases, which, like, you know what, if you're going to be alive forever, like, please do something like that. But she's like, oh, you're so, I can't believe it, I admire you so much now that I know whatever. And I'm just like, bitch, he waited 2,000 years to try and do something useful. He is 2,000 years old. Like, are you freaking kidding me? He could have cured this like hundreds of years ago if he wanted to try. Well, I mean, you know, barring technology, but like,
he definitely shouldn't still be doing like intro courses. I don't think
he should not be at a community college. First of all, like,
I mean, he did at least pick the one college full of every scene kid in the world.
That's true.
And like,
I guess he just was like looking for the school to fit into.
The fucking greatest.
Do y'all think he was the first goth?
No.
Like he was dressed like this?
I think he's just trying to fit in.
Like while Jesus was around.
I don't think so, because like I don't think so. I think he just like buys his clothes in bulk from Walmart so that he doesn't have to think about it. Because like the only thing going for him is his eyeliner, which I'm not really sure if we were supposed to know. Like, were we supposed to think he just had like crazy eyes because he's a vampire, or like do we think that he applied his eyeliner?
I think he puts it on every morning, but he does it.
Yeah,
does it with his flash speed.
So it takes like 2 seconds. Perfect.
Yeah. I saw like one of the
Go
things the director is known for is crystal blue eyes in his movies.
What?
It's
what?
Extremely weird.
Yeah, and that's what Aurelius has. So.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he does.
Not. I didn't see a single blue eye in the house.
He has.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark that as questionable.
No, like because I was looking at his stuff while I was watching the movie, and I actually started paying attention when I think it's the scene when she tells him about how she got AIDS, and like she's just like, if you turned me into a vampire, would it cure me? And like he's got like bright blue eyes in it.
I didn't even notice.
I mean, I wouldn't have if I hadn't read that first. So that's what we have to look forward to when we do another one of his movies.
I'm gonna look out for the crystal blue eyes this time.
Yes. And
my other thing is that
Book,
like
Make a Wish.
I just can't do that one. My other thing is that like okay, so the other plot of this movie for some reason is that in their literature class they have to read Dracula and then act it out in a play, which to me is pretty normal. That's like a normal thing, and they're just like, oh, my English professor is like so eccentric. He's making us do this play, and they just like won't stop talking about how like kooky and zany this professor is, and I'm like, that's not that weird.
Making us read one of the most famous novels in history.
And then acting it out. And so, of course, Aurelius is cast as Dracula, and Chloe is cast as Mina, so that's why they like start talking.
Can we talk about how perfect their stage production was of Dracula?
Wherein they had no props.
It's just
like no set at all. They're just in front of the curtain.
Like a fucking white rope around
everyone's
the stage.
Like, I'm so excited. It's going to be so great. Yeah. Also, nobody was wearing shoes for some reason. That was so weird to me.
I mean...
Like...
I assume that, like...
They're like, we don't have old-timey shoes.
I just feel like everybody in it was so incompetent that they all just showed up to, like, shoot that scene in, like, golf cleats, and the director was like, you can't wear these on this stage. They just made them take all their shoes off.
They all showed up in rollerblades. Oh, man, I forgot my regular shoes.
I thought we would just add some extreme sports to this movie.
That would be pretty sick. I'm in.
It would have been. It turned into like an extremely goofy movie.
The last rollerblader on Earth.
Okay, so one of the early scenes too is that like there's a guy who I don't know it. I'm sorry, my cats are literally climbing all over me this whole time. Get lost.
In the last vampire on Earth.
They are.
No.
Okay, so there's a guy who's like on their campus, and Aurelius like walks up to him and is just like, "Hey, you run this bloodmobile?" He's like, "Yeah, my name's Wayne." And so Aurelius is just gonna like start buying 5 gallons of blood from this dude.
Yeah. And
the dude's just like, "All right, I only make $9 an hour." Like, what the hell? But like, how? Who? I'm just like, how is that not accounted for blood? Is he just like pretending that he didn't get the donation so that he could sell it, or like is he like a third party blood seller? Like I don't get it.
That dude was definitely a serial
every week
killer.
Gallons just pulled off the truck.
Yeah, I think so.
That was my favorite actor in the entire movie.
Mine was the professor. I wrote.
He just looked like the actor that plays Aurelius's dad. Like, I think that's just that guy's dad.
Probably. There was other people who were like related to each other.
Oh yeah, they have to be.
Just wrote like professor, weird music as kids are in class, best actor, professor talks about Dracula, and then he tells them to get over themselves. He was the best.
Even saying the best actor of the movie is still the worst actor I've ever seen. Like, these people are all the worst.
Oh, it's bad. And then like my other problem is that there's just so many scenes that are just like don't matter. Like Chloe like finds I can barely keep saying Aurelius in the library, and she's just like, hey, like we have a lot of scenes together, like do you want to rehearse? And it's just like, yeah, put your number in my phone, I'll let you know when I'm available, and just like throws his phone at her, and she's just like, okay, bye. And then it's just like immediately a scene where they're at a coffee shop, which I assumed was to rehearse, but he's just like, they just like talk about what their majors are, and then she's like, come to church with me. And he's like, okay. And then they're immediately at church, and there's like this weird church like thing. And I'm just like, what is like.
Can we talk about how the church scene, for a solid like 2 or 3 minutes, they just film everybody like filing out of the church
with like a weird music playing?
Well, weird music is never not playing in this movie.
I know, it just was like so weird.
Old David Burke and the Historians. Or something like that. Somebody in the Historians who are from Columbus, Ohio.
I mean...
And are still current.
Ohio.
They were posting about Bandcamp Day 2 days ago.
That's amazing. You have to buy their whole discography next time.
I'm pass.
Their album the next Bandcamp Day.
That's what I should just find people's emails and just start gifting it to them. So it'd be like weird, nothing but like black metal, and then just like that. They can listen to Wedding Day.
Shane deserves it.
Yes, hard agree.
Shane does deserve it. Yeah, he would probably enjoy it.
I don't know. I feel like Shane gave us a fucking treat with the lock-in. I will.
Well, this is also his fault, so.
Well,
yeah.
Yes. So, fuck you, Shane. Talk about Chloe.
Okay, so
what? Go ahead.
I was just gonna talk about the weird dinner scene. Like I sort of already did, but like their dinner is like one piece of fried chicken on a plate, and then like one of them asks Aurelius like what his major is, and he's like hematology or whatever, and he's like, you know, AIDS and diabetes, which are like the only 2 things he knows, and then everyone at the table gets really somber, and he's like, is there something wrong? And the dad's like, our religion says that we can't eat blood or get transfusions. First of all, like, why would you eat blood? I don't know. It seems like a weird specification.
Have you never had a slice of blood before?
No, I guess I have. And then he's just like, we can't get transfusions or we will get shunned from the church. And then Aurelius is just like, wow, you'd really be in a predicament if you were in a car accident or something like that. That sucks. And I was just like, what's happening? What is this conversation?
He like says it so smugly too.
I know. I was like, so
wow,
is it
man,
like
rude.
a dig or like what's? I'm confused about the message that I'm being sent here. Yeah, I don't. It's just very strange. And then that's when she was like, why aren't you eating? And he's just like, I'm a buffoon. Buffoonery has befallen me. I ate a big lunch.
They show him throwing up so much in this movie.
I know. It's really funny too because he like drives off and just like throws up. And it's like he's like in a I don't know, like an SUV or whatever, and then it cuts to Wayne bringing him blood, and it's literally the same car that like that Aurelius is just driving, and I was like, the one car I see.
It's a hot seller in the town.
And then it's like Wayne brings him blood, and there's like a 10-minute shot of Wayne just like looking around his house, and I'm like, why? This is not like this place. Like in Twilight, they live in this like crazy cool house where it's like huge and like all the walls are glass and like all this crazy shit, and this guy just like lives in like a 1-story like trailer. And they're like, he's just like looking around in wonderment but it's like not focusing on anything. So like you can't really see what he's even looking at. Like, why is this a necessary shot?
I felt like that was supposed to be like the like tense, scary scene in the movie, and it was just like embarrassing.
Oh,
because he's like walking around the house,
yeah,
and
maybe.
It's like he's supposed to be like I felt like they were trying to get like, oh, like this guy is about to get like jumped out at or whatever, get like attacked and like have his blood drank, and it's just like instead he's just like hands up some money.
Oh, I missed that.
I appreciate the entire scene where they act like he's making a drug deal, and he calls up the blood guy and is like, hey man, I need some more. All right, you got more?
I need it Saturday.
I would like.
'Cause I gotta go to church on.
I would like a sequel that just follows that guy, the fucking blood drive
Wayne,
dude. Yeah,
the bloodmobile
yeah,
driver.
Wayne the blood guy.
yeah. I was gonna see what his daily
I
life
love
is
it.
like.
So the next scene is also one of my favorites because like Chloe is just like reading, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm reading fantasy. You must think that I'm so stupid." And he's just like, "No, I don't know." They
Yeah, I
talk about
do.
the dumbest stuff. I, I just wrote, they say a bunch of dumb stuff because she's like, "I just want everything to be beautiful," and he's like, "Yeah." And they just like stare at each other, and then they go for a walk for a really long time. But then they're like in a
So long.
cafe, huh?
Said so long. They had a whole
It-
walk montage.
They did to more music,
I-
and it's just like literally them like walking down a dock for 10 minutes.
I like that, like, before they go for their walk, she's like, I need to go put this book back in my book bag or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
she can't carry the fucking, like, paperback book she's got with her.
Or like at this point, we're gonna even wonder where the book is. Like, who cares? Also, like, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of fantasy either, but like, she's like, I just like to read about worlds where there's no murder and blah blah blah. And I was just like, Lord of the Rings. It's like pretty much all murder. So is what's that other one people like with the incest?
Harry Potter.
Yeah. So is Harry Potter. People die all the time. So like,
wait,
don't think it's that.
wait. What? Why was Harry Potter the one with the incest?
Why not?
I just
Harry Potter would be way better with some incest. Okay.
Ron has so many siblings that it's like whatever. You just
I appreciate that you just like ran with it. And were like, yeah, Harry Potter.
what is it called? King Iron. There's the Iron Throne.
King of Iron.
Yes,
Yeah,
the King of Iron.
King of Games.
Yeah. Game
Game
of Thieves. Yeah, Throne King. That's it. Codes of Dunshire.
Thrones
So,
of Vale.
So her like thinking that she's reading fantasy, like I don't know what. Anyways, that was really beside the point. So then they're like at a cafe, and she's just like, "Oh, so where are you from?" And he's just like, "Greece. Do you want to come over to my house? I printed out some notes about vampires off the internet." She's like, what? And he's just like, "Yeah, I thought you could like use it for research." And she's like, "Oh my God, that's so interesting. Okay." And like,
Incredible pickup line. I printed off some notes from the internet. I thought you could use them.
I found them really helpful when I was researching my role as a vampire, for the play, not for my life. And so I guess this is supposed to be another scary scene where he's like, for some reason, he's like, I have to go get the notes. They're in the basement. She's like, where's the bathroom? And she goes in the bathroom and finds the blood, and she like freaks out. And it's like thunderstorming now. So I guess we're supposed to think that maybe he's gonna like attack her, but like she doesn't. And then even though she like leafs through the paper, and she was like, "This is so interesting. Aurelius, thank you so much for printing off of these pages from the internet." But then she like goes home and is like researching on her Dell laptop instead about vampires. And like that's how she finds out he's a vampire somehow. Like,
yeah, I don't remember any of this scene.
okay, so that happens.
I blocked
And then
all of it out.
This is when like we get that scene. This was so confusing to me. So like she's at school and she's just like waiting for him to come outside to confront him, I guess. And so like this group of kids comes out, and then he walks out, and I was like, "Oh, is there going to be beef or something?" Because like he comes out and they're all like circling him, like they're going to make fun of him or something, and she's just like, "I need to talk to you." And they just walk away, and I was like, "Okay." Don't really know why this circle of kids was here, like not talking to him. And then that's when you get like the whole thing about she figured out that he's a vampire, and she's like I don't know why you told me you're a vampire. I'm just a girl trying to go about her life and make the world a better place. And he's like, are you scared of me? And she's like, no, I admire you and I want to know everything. This scene takes like 20 freaking minutes.
The exchange where he's like, "Yeah, I'm a vampire. Does that bother you?" Like,
That's
He's
like,
like,
that's,
I don't know why that's your immediate follow-up question. Does that bother you?
that's like straight
Like, are
out
you
of
not
Twilight,
cool with that?
right?
Like, pretty much, this whole scene, a lot of the dialogue is directly from it. Like, when he's like, she's like, he's like, oh, so you know what I am? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, so? And she's like, you're a vampire. And then he's just like, are you scared? Or whatever. Like, this whole thing is, like, pretty much taken right from it, except for the part where, he says that he's 2000. Oh, because then she's like, how old are you? And he was like 20. And she's like, how long have you been 20? And he's like, 2028 years. And I was like, oh my God, why? Because, like, I don't know how old actual Twilight is, like a couple hundred years maybe, not 2,000 years old. And then that's when she's like, oh my gosh, did you meet Jesus? And he was like, yeah, we high-fived. Like,
We were bros.
and then we were, And then
With the skateboard.
she's like, please. Yeah, right. Taught Sadako everything she knows. So then, like, he's just like, okay, well, cool, great. This went better than I thought. Let's talk about it later. And she's like, okay. And then she's like, immediately throws up and goes to the hospital. And I was like, what? It's not a very, I don't know.
It was a very solid transition that did not raise any questions.
Yeah. And so the doctor is basically just like, well, this is bad. And then
the nurse has the worst bedside manners, because he's like, yeah, things aren't looking great at all, and she's sitting there smiling at her like,
like, geez, Tammy, calm down, all right? She's sick. She's really sick. And then there's like a whole, maybe this is later. There's like a weird scene where there's like a doctor, and he's just like, I'm going on my lunch break. And the old lady's like, okay. And I was like, why is this here?
That nurse or whatever is possibly the worst actor in this whole movie.
I just don't even know how you can pick a single person.
I'm gonna go with either her or, let's see, Disheveled Girl was one of the best.
I'm gonna say Yellow Car Driver.
I thought Disheveled. Oh no, I guess they are different. I think that the two girls that were like, I'm so excited to do this play. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm gonna say they were the worst for me.
Chad's best.
Chad is the best shining star of.
He's got a future. He's got a future ahead of him.
Yeah. Okay, so this next part too. Okay, they like transition. Oh, so like there's like this weird talking about how Aurelius and like the roommate are just like, hey, you were gone for a week. What happened? She's like, oh, I'm fine. And they're like, okay. And then there's like this weird transition where like Aurelius and Chloe are supposed to be like gazing at the stars, but it's just like I don't even know how to describe the like.
Oh my god, the night sky effect.
Filter. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because they show it before they show them laying down, they showed that first, and I was just like, did it break? Like, what's happening right now?
It's like a Windows 95 screensaver,
like
with,
literally
like, the clouds moving across.
That's
like,
I was gonna say it's like some sort of Windows 95 effect. Like literally, it is.
I mean,
and
it's
then
like
they showed
the same shit that's in like the opening credits.
Yeah. Oh my god. I hated that so much. It was just like a blood cell filter.
Yeah, but then there was like
"Ugh."
a car driving behind it and shit. Like,
should have made it a little bit more opaque, I think, because it was like really hard to tell what was going on. But
it
they're
happened
like,
so long ago, I forgot about the entire opening credit sequence.
That's when I was like, immediately I could tell that they were like really into making this movie, for better or worse. They were just really dedicated. But they're like looking at it, and he's like, hey, do you see that constellation? That's Pegasus. And then he just like talks for 10 minutes about this like Greek mythology about Pegasus. and then is like, which who cares? And she's like, oh my God, Aurelius, you're so smart. He's just like, well, I've had 2,000 years to learn it, but there's lots of bad stuff that's happened in the world and stuff. And that's when she's like, oh my God, I admire you so much for like wanting to cure these two diseases. And that's when I was just like, okay, but he's been alive for 2,000 years. So like he could have started a little bit earlier, not at community college.
Take
But
his time.
Yeah, it took a long time for him to get accepted to that college.
2000.
I guess, right, yeah, you have like no credentials at that point.
He got held back a lot.
Yeah. He just, you being a vampire, I could see could have like a lot of distractions. I wouldn't want to be doing homework either. But then he's basically just like, hey, I wrote, he says he could die having met her. He didn't actually say that, but he was basically just like, I know that if I died, everything would be okay because you want to do good things in the world. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then they finally kiss. The one and only time.
Was that the only time? Well,
yeah.
Except for when they start necking later at the end of the movie.
Doesn't count.
Can we talk about when he gets kidnapped by the dad?
Yeah, we're almost there.
The best scene I've ever seen in my whole life.
Like it's incredible.
Yeah, basically we're like up to the point where she's like, hey, my dad wants you to come over for dinner. But we see every single phone conversation that sets up this dinner. It's like the dad calling and her talking to the dad, her calling to talk to Aurelius, Aurelius calling Wayne, his blood dealer, and then like what's her face calling her dad again, and it's just like excruciating. And then at dinner they like are like, her parents decide to start like grilling Chloe about like how she's been really sleepy, and she's just like, I just have to deal with it, okay? School's really hard. And then Aurelius is just like, so how about the weather? And I was like, okay. Then that's
You don't
when
like football? Let's play football.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And then they have to ask every single person, Chad, would you like to play football? I guess Dad, would you like to play football? Mom, how about like it's so. But then this is where he's like throwing up the dinner, and the brother overhears because Chloe's like,
oh my
yeah,
god, he's
you're
a vampire. Like
yeah.
He like walks all the way into the bathroom, and neither of them notice him just like standing there for 2 minutes, and then he just like backs out like that Homer gif.
yeah.
Like that demon in the lock-in. So then, like, okay, but the brother seems like really unfazed by this because they toss the football 3 times, and then Aurelius is like, I gotta go. And the mom's like, oh, already? And the little brother says, he can't stay forever. And I was like, what's happening?
I thought Chad was going to be a bro and not say anything. I was
I
like,
did too.
"Thanks,
Because
Chad."
it took a really long time because, like, okay, so this is the scene. I wrote, at home, Aurelius drinks blood for 10 minutes and then plays ping pong by himself even longer. Like, you could tell they were really proud of his, like, zoom, like, him just playing ping pong by himself.
I mean, to be fair, that was the best part of the movie.
It really was. So then there's another scene of Chloe going back to the doctor, and he says stuff about drug cocktails and getting sleep / drinking a protein drink, which, you know. And then this is when the little bro tells parents that Aurelius is a vampire, and the dad is gonna get to the bottom of it.
I like
Okay, so
how quickly they are to just be like, oh yeah, this sounds like a thing that is true.
yeah, he's like, hey, I overheard them. Aurelius is a vampire. And the mom's like, well, that can't be true. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, he, like, said that when he eats food, he gets sick. And the dad's like, oh, my goodness, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Like, literally, this is not a thing that would happen. I mean, I don't know much about Jehovah's Witnesses, but do they think vampires are real?
Yeah. Pretty sure. Prince was a Jehovah's Witness, and he talks about it a lot.
That holds
That
up.
vampire concept album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's canon. I guess so. But then he just immediately like calls a group of his friends. It's just like my daughter's girlfriend. I mean, my daughter's boyfriend's a vampire.
My dad's girlfriend.
That would be a completely different movie. Uh, yeah, he's just like, yeah, we're just gonna like, like, how are they? This whole part is just like so crazy to me because it's just like, this guy's a vampire. We're gonna get him, and they like lure him to the church. And I wrote, Chloe goes to her parents' house and gets a gun? Question mark.
Eh. And then
It's like
she has to
the tiniest gun I've ever seen.
has to stop her dad from burning him at a stake like a witch for some reason.
Oh my god. It
This
cuts him like tied up and bound, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I forgot they have him tied to a
And
stake.
he looks so sad because he's just kind of hunched over, just like looking at the ground, like, I deserve this.
In fairness, that's how he has looked throughout the film.
Yes.
So
It's big Eeyore
Yeah.
energy.
And yeah, and so the dad is basically just like, we can't let him wander around and spread evil and like a bunch of stuff, and then like, I don't know, says some stuff
He just
about
yells a bunch of shit about blood and how he's like, as Jehovah's Witnesses, like blood is like their pure thing, and he feeds off it, so he's evil or some nonsense.
right.
blood's tight, don't drink it.
But then Chloe shows up and delivers the best speech of all time.
It's pretty good.
I can read it if you want.
I was gonna say I have it pulled up, so go ahead.
Here, I'll try and do it in her acting.
In her cadence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop or I'll shoot. This is a good man, and if you took the time to get to know him, you would find that out. He doesn't want to hurt us. He doesn't want to feed off humans. He wants to help us. He wants to help find cures for diseases. He wants to help find cures for diseases like AIDS. Maybe that doesn't mean much to you, but it means a lot to people like me who have it. That's right, I have AIDS, and it's advancing very quickly. I don't have that much longer to live, and I will not hesitate to shoot someone for trying to kill Aurelius. I'm
I hope you're holding your like hand out like
I am.
you've got a pistol.
Better.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of punishment, death, or things I do not understand. All of you are afraid of him, not because you truly think he is evil, but because you don't understand what he is. What kind of Christian spirit is this? Would you do this to someone who has cancer? No. You would help them because they have a horrible disease. What makes him so different? Do you think he revels in what he's become? Then she shoots a man, and then she just exclaims, I'm not playing around.
Okay,
No.
so
No hesitation, no regrets shooting that man.
my,
Just fires and immediately, not playing around.
he didn't even do anything either, and she was just like,
can we talk about
he did have a weird lip ring though.
how quickly her disease has just like completely incapacitated her? Like, she's like diagnosed, and then it's just almost like 2 days later is just like, I'm gonna be dead soon.
This is also the crazy thing to me is that like this is when she reveals to her parents that she has it, and they just like don't even like, they're not phased. They have no reaction to the situation.
Yeah,
They're like, honey, that's nice, but we're in the middle of something.
We were in the middle of like setting someone on fire, so if you could just not.
that's,
But yeah, so she's
my biggest complaint with this movie is that you never get any sort of like there should be a scene later that's just her coming back home and her dad just being like, the fuck was that all about?
okay, so
Weird.
yeah, and then it's like, so she shoots that guy who's not doing anything, and it's just like, I am not playing around. Untie him. So they untie him, and then her and Aurelius run away, and they show like a close-up of the mom, and she's just like nodding. And I'm like, what? Are you on her side or what? Also, you just found out that your daughter has like a very serious disease, and you're just like, Go be with
I
your
also,
husband, your boyfriend that we tried to burn down. Like,
I
what?
just like that they brought her little brother to watch a man be burned alive.
I mean,
Chad was having a great time.
Yeah,
this is Chad's fault as far as I'm concerned.
God, this movie's so terrible.
Yeah, so then they just like run away. And my favorite part is like they go back to his house and she's just like, "Are we gonna be okay?" And he goes, "Yes. I set the alarm system." Like, all right. Okay. Like, I guess, I mean, it's pretty clear at this point he doesn't have any kind of like vampiric powers or anything. So, but like, thank God he's got an alarm system.
I don't think he's a real vampire. I think he just lied to her.
I don't think he is either because, except for he can play ping pong really fast. Maybe he's like an Olympic ping-pongian. We don't know.
Pingpongian.
Yeah.
A pongster.
I know what we're staying in this week.
Ping-pongians. Yeah, and so if you guys want to reread that speech, it's on IMDb, and 12 people found it interesting.
I think everybody should just watch the movie.
Voting is interesting.
I think so too. I couldn't even pay attention, like when she was giving the speech, I couldn't even pay attention to it because it was just so like, all right, she's going off. And then that's what
I was scared by how she was brandishing that weapon.
Sure
I was fearing for my life.
that poor like Medusa guy just got. Oh no, he doesn't have a Medusa. I don't know what it's called when it's like in the middle of your lip on the bottom.
I have no idea.
Anyways,
That's what it's called. Sick.
Yeah.
Hoobastank. So
SIQQ sick.
yes. So then that's basically when he's just like, "Why didn't you tell me, UB?" It's like, "What happened?" And she's just like, "I got it. Saving a little girl on a mission trip that was attacked. Like, who knows?" And then she's just basically just like, "Hey, like, will you turn me into a vampire?" And he's just like, "I don't think so." And she literally says, quote unquote, "I would like it." Girl, same. And he's just like, "No, go to sleep. We'll talk about it later." And I'm like, seems like something you should probably talk about it now.
He was just like, "Oh, I'm only 2,000 years young. I don't know if I want to be tied down this early."
Yeah, to this girl for the rest of my...
They met like a week and a half ago. And she's like, "I want to spend the rest of my life with you."
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's calm down.
Have you not seen like Love Is Blind?
He also is like, okay, so she says like, okay, he's like, "I just want to remind everyone that he's 2,000 years old." And she's just like, "That's such a long time to be alone." I was like, "Girl, honey baby, he has not been alone for 2,000 years. Like, he's not a looker, but like,
I don't know. That dude doesn't look like he fucks.
he's got to have 2,000. There's got to have been somebody.
He can jerk off.
No, that's...
That dude is definitely an incel. What are you talking about?
At least four.
But it's weird that like a 2,048-year-old dude's dating a 20-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Probably listens to pop punk.
Yeah, I would say he definitely does. Maybe he founded pop punk. Maybe that's what.
Yeah, probably.
Happened.
He ghost wrote all of the pop punk albums that we know.
Yep, I think so. Also, one thing that I found weird is that I thought his hair was like brown in the beginning, but at the end it's like blonde. I don't know. Maybe it just
as he gets closer to curing diseases, his hair gets lighter.
His hair gets lighter. He's so close. Oh yeah, he was like, "No, go to sleep." Then it just like, okay.
And then he zooms around the room to get her a blanket and just fucking like watch her while she's sleeping.
Oh, did he? I missed that
yeah,
part.
It does more of the Flash shit where he's just like zooms off to get her a blanket, and then it's just like it's showing him kind of like zooming around the room to like different spots while he's watching her sleep.
That's really not necessary, but that's fine. And so then, like, I guess, everyone's just forgetting about the fact that, like, her dad lured her boyfriend to try and burn him at the stake with a bunch of his friends. And we're just, like, at the play now.
Literally the most interesting shit that could have been in this movie, which would have been the dad going to get him. You don't see any of it.
No, you just like get her not being able to find
You
anybody
get
for
her
like 10
not being
minutes.
able to get into the church.
Right. And then somehow she runs to the backyard and finds them. I don't know how she did that, but oh, probably because he was yelling. Like,
Well,
I don't know.
yelling is a very strong use of that word.
Yeah, so then we just see the play. So like we see the beginning of Dracula, and this is where I wrote everyone is barefoot question mark. Like I'm not really sure. Yeah, no props. There's just like
There's like
ropes,
a white rope around the stage that's like the like you know.
the doorway,
Well,
the room.
yeah, I was gonna say like a white rope that like when you're like in a line that zigzags you around or something like that. Like it's just something like a kind of a rope like that that just for some
Like a
reason,
partition.
yeah, it's just like around the
Yeah.
stage.
And then so they're like doing the play, and then Chloe's like, "Hey, by the way, did you think about like what I said about how like I wanted to be a vampire and stuff? Because like I really want to. I think that'd be pretty cool." And he's just like, "All right." And then just vampire bites her in front of everybody.
Yeah,
Vampire
and
time.
it turns
Like,
turns into black and white, and she, I think, orgasms while it's happening.
I think you do. I assume. I mean, and then it's just the end, and I was like, "Oh, okay." That's just like teasing the end of like maybe it's the first movie or second movie where she's like, "I'm gonna be a vampire," and he's just like, "Okay, here I come," but it's like a joke. But he does like bend her over, and then it just like fades out or whatever. But in this one, he does the deed.
What
It's
movie are
done.
you talking about?
Twilight.
I just yeah, this movie should be like burned to a DVD and shot into space.
This is the cursed movie that they watch in the ring.
Yes, this is
We have somewhere between 2 and 7 days to
I
live
assume in like A Clockwork Orange when they just like hold the dude's eyes open and just show movies. It's just this movie.
on repeat.
Oh my god, I would kill myself.
Yeah.
If I ever have to watch this movie again, I'm just jumping off a bridge.
I thought it was pretty good.
Worth a
Worth
A
watching
revisit.
twice.
It was definitely worth making like at least 5 other people now watch.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the cursed tape where like you have to make other people see it, and he just did it to us.
I don't know if I could ever make anybody watch this movie except for Caitlin, I guess.
Messed up.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's
So like I had not watched. I didn't look at like the poster last week when we were recording. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna wait and like watch it, like whatever. But then like
You fool.
Well, no. So I was like editing the lock-in episode, and I was like, I'm gonna put like the trailer in it. And so like I watched the trailer, and I was just like, fuck.
I didn't watch the trailer, but I did look up the poster last time, and I knew we were in for.
For some reason, just hearing like the last vampire on Earth, I thought it was gonna be like a shitty like '70s movie.
If
Oh,
only.
I was
Yeah.
very incorrect.
I'm not that nice.
I mean, I don't know. You brought us Robo Vampire.
That's true.
Balance.
That was yeah.
All right. Nobody ever watched this movie.
No.
I mean, I don't know. There's not like,
At least watch the scene where she has the gun,
yeah.
and then you can determine if you want to watch the rest of it.
I'll just put her fucking
Yeah.
acting in the episode so you can just hear that scene.
I just like don't. I normally am pretty good at being able to pull something out of it that's like redeemable, but there's literally nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything like. This is maybe like the third movie that I've just been like, there's nothing I can fucking compliment in this.
N- Nope.
Trying to think.
You can stop. There's nothing.
I mean, when
The car guy didn't even like tell us what the one car everyone had was.
yeah, what,
Yeah, what's up with that?
I mean, the Windows 95 screensaver at the beginning was pretty cool.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, it's terrible, but it made me remember, like,
Twin times were simpler.
yeah.
What more could you ask for? I had a very good time saying Vitaly Versace over and over again. So that's
Yeah, I'll say I'll
about the best compliment I.
looking at his filmography was pretty fun. We got Pingpongian out of it.
That's true.
World class pongster.
All right, Katie, do you have any news?
Yeah, actually,
Is it about a sequel to this movie?
no, but it's pretty close.
On 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vinegar
Collector's
Syndrome Blu-ray special
Um,
release.
I did just read that there's a new Twilight book coming out.
Oh, I saw
I
that
think
too.
this summer, called Midnight Sun, and it's from the perspective of Aurelius. So maybe.
I wish if she was like, it would be fucking phenomenal if she knew about this and just fucking wrote him into the series.
I would.
As
I
just
don't-
like
I-
Edward's like fucked up cousin.
His 2,000-year-old cousin, even though his whole family is like 200 years old or something.
Why do you keep telling people you're the last vampire on Earth? Like, I'm right here.
Bro, we're at a family reunion.
Whole family here.
So there's that. I also saw that Sorry, this is just as ridiculous. They're doing Travel Channel is doing a special series of ghost adventures called Ghost Adventures Quarantine,
Oh,
where
God.
Zach Baggins goes around his museum. Just got to give a shout out to the original master of face masks, because he was doing it way before us. And then in serious news, Scream Factory is releasing a collector's edition of Ghost Ship.
Fuck yeah.
So those are my newses.
Also, apparently, they're doing a Tiger King movie with Nick Cage.
Is that real?
Yes.
Oh,
That was a
dang.
real.
It's real,
I'm-
but with the way the world's going, I don't see that getting made.
Nathan, with the way the world's going, this is the only thing getting made.
I don't know. I've seen shots from that Wally's World movie he did that looks amazing.
Yeah, what happened with that?
No, like I think it's in like post production. Like I think it's coming
Okay.
out. Like I've seen actual like stills from it were released.
The only two movies that are going to be in theaters whenever theaters are open again are going to be Corona Zombies and the Tiger King movie.
I saw some shit about some fucking like some state that was just like, no, we're opening movie theaters. Like they're opening soon, and like everyone was just like, with
Oh, that's
what?
Texas.
With what fucking movies?
Oh, yeah.
Like what movies are you gonna put in there?
Oh,
Like-
Texas was like, oh, movie theaters can open back up, and all of our movie theaters here were like, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Like what are they gonna play? And then who's gonna
I-
go?
I assume just like whatever was released on VOD, but it's like, why would you want to pay to then go see it in the theater? I don't know. Trolls World Tour, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about like how fucking crazy like the Oscars will be this year. Cause like you have to have a theatrical run to be considered, and you have to have like a New York Times review to be considered and shit, and just like nothing past like February.
So no
Yeah.
Oscars. That's
It's going to be Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Invisible Man sweeps.
That's what I saw. So they were like, yeah, Fantasy Island. Like Trolls World Tour and fucking Harley Quinn.
Jeez. I mean, yeah, it'll make no difference to me because I don't watch like whatever, but it will be interesting.
Also, how do you you can't even have it'll just be Oscars on Zoom. Speaking of, Katie, you watched the Parks and Rec.
I did.
It's pretty good.
The Parks and Rec reunion. I liked it. Like I thought it was pretty funny. It's only like what 20 minutes long, so it's not
Yeah, it's
really.
like an episode length.
Yeah, I do really wish that they had done it for something other than because like the whole point of it is that everyone is like isolating and they're like, "Hey, are you social distancing? Are you washing your hands? I closed the parks." And it's like very like coronavirus PR, which like is fine. Like they did it to raise money to like help or whatever, but I'm just like so tired of seeing like literally any commercial you see now is like a coronavirus commercial and it's like we know times are trying.
It
Buy this Ford online. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying a car.
it.
So like I'm a little go
I
ahead.
was gonna say it was worth it though for Perd Hapley and John Ralphio.
Yeah, no, it was still like I was trying to say like I wish it was for a better reason that they
Yeah,
did it, but it was very funny. Like all of like the written material was like funny and it was good. It was like interesting to see how they adapted the characters to like I don't want to spoil anything if people are going to watch it, but some of the stuff that happens with Gary, I was like cry laughing. It was very funny. So
I'm gonna
yeah,
spoil it. He gets Juggalo makeup at one point.
oh my God, yes. It was so funny. And then I think it was Donna is just like, "Can't you see yourself?" Like cuz he's just like talking like normal, but he's just got like crazy and then like at one point he's a baby. I don't know. It is really funny and like definitely worth the watch if you like Parks and Rec. I just like had to groan because I'm like, "Can we move on?"
Yeah, I mean
But
that's
yeah.
gonna like coronavirus is gonna be like in everything going forward. Like
Yeah.
except for the sequel to Last Vampire on Earth. Actually, that's wrong.
Why
He would probably be trying to cure that.
Yeah, I want a sequel where he's like the leading doctor to cure coronavirus. He's had 10 years. I demand to see results.
Uh, oh, fuck, I don't even want to think about that. All right. Do you guys have shout outs? Is that?
I was waiting for someone else to go first, but I've got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, Sacred Bones released a like tribute compilation of Black Sabbath songs by like their entire roster. So it's like all a bunch of post-punk and synthy singer-songwriter kind of covers of shit, and it rules. It now has a cover of Supernaut, and Zola Jesus does Changes, and Uniform does Symptom of the Universe, and it's like all I've been listening to all weekend.
I think I saw that popping up on a couple people on like Bandcamp.
Oh yeah, I bought it. I was like, yep, this is the easiest sell in the world.
Did you buy a bunch of stuff on Bandcamp Day?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 things, I think.
Yeah, I think I only bought a couple. I bought like 4 or 5 things as well. All right, Katie, what about you?
Um, I am going to recommend the movie 10 Things I Hate About You.
Uh,
I just know it was funny because like I thought about it because Ben Wyatt in Parks and Rec is like obsessed with Letters to Cleo, and he has this like shirt that he wears when he's like depressed or whatever. And there was like a whole scene where like the in where they get them to like play a song or whatever, and then that's the band that's like featured in 10 Things I Hate About You. So I just thought that was funny. No, I was actually gonna recommend like I know we already did like a whole thing where we talked about vampires and like recommended vampire stuff, but there's this show I think people have heard about it by now called Being Human, the UK British version, not the American version because it's bad. That is like a series about like a ghost, a vampire, and a werewolf that like live together and just like it's not like a comedy really, but it's one of my favorite shows. And Aidan Turner and Russell Tovey are both in it, which they both are like I think a lot more popular now. So I recommend that.
I recommend Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Facts.
And
Yeah, I back that.
so I was just looking at the VHS. I had something I was going to recommend earlier, and I don't remember what it was. So I'm gonna say Dracula Dead,
Well,
loving it.
that is a good one, and it's topical.
What else have I been watching? I watched Baby Driver last night. The movie would be perfect if Kevin Spacey wasn't in it.
Also backed.
Oh, the movie's so good. Caitlin hadn't seen it, so I had her watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of random movies that just like, I'm just like, yep, that was a movie. Oh, I watched Fighting with My Family. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The wrestling. I watched that. I don't really know anything about wrestling, but that was like pretty entertaining.
Kit, have you? I don't know if it came out yet. I think it did. Have you seen the Big Show?
I haven't watched it yet, but I have it withering away in my Netflix queue.
I wonder if it's any good.
I don't know why they didn't call it the Paul White House.
Is he the president in it? Because that would be amazing.
They should have made it a show where like he's the president.
Yeah, I will watch that. All right. Katie, what are we doing next week?
Wow, I had a really hard time picking a movie that I felt would be as bad as the movie that we just watched.
You might as well not even try, because
I know. So basically what I did was like I made a list of all of the terrible movies that I've been thinking about doing, and then just was kind of like, well, I don't want to do a movie that's like a rip off of another movie because we just did that. I don't want to do like a found footage movie because we just did a found footage movie. And so I almost picked this movie called 2010 Moby Dick.
Oh, that's a sci-fi movie.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've
awesome.
seen that.
But I was gonna pick it because it's got a 2.4 rating on Netflix, or not Netflix, fuck Netflix, IMDb, and it's got like a 3.5 on Prime. But Barry Boswick, I think, is like the main character, and I was like, well, I don't really want to do something. So I was trying to pick something that still like didn't have a really prevalent cast, and then I almost picked this other movie called Bermuda Tentacles.
I almost
That sounds like porn.
No, so when I had messaged Michelle about Nightmare Shark, I was like, well, if like none of these shark movies work out, here's this fucking like Bermuda Tentacles movie.
Yeah, and then I was like, I watched the trailer for it, and I thought like for Moby Dick and that one, I thought they looked like they were along the lines of like probably they were funny bad, and I was trying to find something bad. So I picked a movie from 2018 called it's hard to pronounce. It's called Somnium.
What's gonna happen to these kids if I die? Hey, who's gonna take care of them?
Dad, you're not scientists anymore. They're not lab rats, they're your granddaughters. Please, they have to be in a psychiatric ward. And you know this.
You have no idea what house she came into.
But a house like this? Where is it? The money, the jewels.
If they wake up, you will not leave this house.
All right, he's dead.
No, he's not dead, man.
No pulse, no heartbeat.
Burn him. Burn him. Burn him.
You're the devil! You are evil! Still what he did to his own mother! She wants him dead! Demon! Punish him!
How do you spell it?
Somnium. Somnium, like insomnia.
All right, what's that on?
It is on Prime.
All right.
And so
That, oh my god, the poster makes it look like it's gonna be fucking horse shit.
it has a higher rating than Last Vampire on Earth, but it does have like a 3.3. So I was trying to go with like bad here. So we'll see. I watched the trailer and the trailer looked really bad. And one of the reasons I picked it is because I was trying to keep with this like religious theme, and I saw some guy like yelling with crosses and stuff. So I thought,
is it the one with the fucking conjoined girls on the cover?
yes.
Oh boy.
And
Don't
it's
let
only
them dream.
yeah, yes.
What is going on with their proportions here?
I don't know, but the movie stars like two twins who like are not acting the same time. Like they're not. Anyways, so yeah, that's my pick. We'll see.
Oh god, I can't wait for this fucking month to be over with.
You
Yeah.
gotta post this poster where they're doing the Grand Theft Auto like crab hands thing. I'm
Oh
so
yes, there's
confused.
pictures of Jesus on the wall. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. The cover is so bad. They look like they listen to Kiss or something.
So I still have in a sticky note the list of movies when I was trying to find stuff that I was looking at. Which, let's see, we had Curse of the Mayans.
Oh, I saw that one today too.
Little Dead Riding Hood. Knuckleball, which I don't remember what that is.
I don't know.
B&B Hell.
Ooh.
Clown Motel.
Jesus.
Gnome Alone.
You're telling me we could have had two gnome movies?
I mean, I still have them both. I left it on. I left these and No Mercy on the list for a reason. Mutant Vampire Zombies from the Hood. Apocalypse, which was a hockey horror movie.
Oh.
I don't remember what The Demolitionist was, but I'm sure it's terrible. And a movie called Monster Island.
Don't know. Sound
So,
like that could have been like an animated like
I'm
DreamWorks movie.
almost positive all of those. I just I scrolled all the way to the bottom of Tubi's horror section. Because it seems like they are, when you look through them, they're kind of by like the most popular.
Yeah.
So
I scrolled through like 400 of them or something, just like looking for stuff.
yeah.
One of the movies I had on my list for like a really long time was one called 8213 Gacy House, which is basically like these paranormal investigators go to investigate like the serial killer Gacy's house, but it's not free anymore. So we get Somnium.
Kit, did you have something you had in mind before I had like said the lock-in that reminded you about this movie?
It was No Mercy.
Oh, that's
That was
right.
the one I was settled on, and then we watched the lock-in, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna do Last Vampire on Earth. I forgot about that movie.
No Mercy is probably gonna be very good. I have faith in that movie.
It's like it was like so crazy to me that like when I was like looking through movies, I would like pull it up on IMDb to see like what it was, and I'm just like, oh, this has a 4. Nope, not good enough. Like there's one called like Clown Doll, and just like all of this crazy stuff that I almost picked, but I was like, the rating's not low enough.
There are so many fucking clown movies now, and it's so like they all look just straight up garbage.
Yeah, they do.
I need gnomes to take over.
Yeah, we need to find like 2 more movies, and we'll just do a whole month of gnome movies.
Oh, that's easy. I'm in.
All right, yeah, you find them because we got 2.
Isn't there one called like Romeo and Juliet?
Oh
Maybe that's not
God, I
true.
hope so.
I
I don't
thought
think it's a horror movie though.
okay, but yeah, no, maybe not. I thought there was like a
Oh, hey. Just a heads up, the Jersey Devils spearheading pandemic delivery plan.
oh good.
Oh, thank God.
If you guys are looking for your weekly world news update. Oh, Bigfoot's
I was.
missing
There
too.
was. Oh, he's been missing. Remember, Lady Gaga was the last to see him alive or something?
Oh, this is as of May 2nd. He's still missing. Oh, Atlantis resurfaced, reconsidered, and then resubmerged.
Oh,
Dang,
this
that was
not
very
a,
fast.
Good
this
for
wasn't
them.
a good time for them to like show back up though.
Oh, y'all want to watch Blood Gnome?
I mean, I'm
Blood
fine with any of
pretty
them.
sick.
Oh,
More no movies.
yeah, I don't know. We'll have to. I was thinking of Tromeo and Juliet, not.
Oh,
That's not
very
right.
different.
Yeah,
There
that's
there
not
is
right.
a Romeo and Juliet, but it's like an animated kids movie.
Yeah, that's probably terrible for different reasons.
All right, we should probably
Did you
just.
say No Malone, Nathan?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, but this should. I maybe. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
you
yeah, I
did.
did. Yeah.
Stars Vern Troyer.
It
Stars who?
who?
Vern Troyer?
Oh yeah, I think that's why I was gonna pick it. Because there's no way that's good.
Absolutely not.
There's no way that's good.
There's a movie I have in my
Ooh.
letterboxed watch list that's like the fourth movie in a series of some like shitty horror movies that stars Dustin Diamond
Oh,
that I want to watch at some point because it's got to be absolutely terrible.
I feel like I remember you mentioning this like when we very first started the podcast.
Probably. I like at one point when whenever I signed up for Letterboxd, I was just like, oh, I could like actually just make a list on this, and then I just always forget about it. So, all right. Nobody watch any of these movies we're doing this month,
yeah.
even though a bunch of people are watching The Lock-In now. So,
Well, out of the two, it's definitely like after having watched this movie, the lock-in is a little bit more favorable.
yeah, hard agree. All right, you can leave us ratings and reviews on iTunes and whatever. Just say nice things to us. You can follow us on Twitter at I Hope You Suffer and Instagram at I Hope You Suffer Podcast. You can listen to Kit's other podcast, Riff Raff, who just released a new episode today.
Aw.
Any previews?
I talk about Fallout Boy again.
Oh hell
So-
yeah!
'Cause we have a track from Race Trader,
Oh,
and
okay.
that was like I didn't realize it was the dude from Fallout Boy in that band. So
I once got yelled at by what was he was in some other newer band. Or maybe it was just with Race.
Arman Jealous or something
Maybe.
like that.
I was tweeting with somebody and I was just like, I find it hard to believe that this dude still gives a fuck about Fall Out Boy's music. It's just in it for like the paycheck at this point.
Right.
And I got like attacked by a bunch of like,
Fallout Boys.
yeah, like 20-year-old girls that were like, you don't know anything about him. And I was like, all right,
You
cool.
know his life, Nathan?
It's like,
It's they're Fall Out Boyians.
yeah.
Fallout Buoys.
Boys.
They have to keep the band afloat.
Gross. Burn.
Follow Katie on the things at Werewolf Face and buy art from her.
Yeah.
So she can pretend she's gonna go see Backstreet Boys in October.
I want to though.
Yeah, that's not happening anymore.
Probably not. No.
Just like Halloween's not happening. Everybody give it up.
Halloween is canceled. So it's gonna be the first year that I actually dress up because
Yeah.
I can do it at my own home.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
can always do that at your own home.
We'll have a Zoom
Yeah, but then I
party.
feel like it's like a shameful thing. Like, look at this loser just doing it at home.
Let's
And that's what everyone's doing. So, haha, I win.
Kit and I are gonna dress up as Patrick Stump and fucking what's his name from Fall Out Boy. I can't think of the other guy's name.
Fallout Boy number 2.
Yeah, the other guy that was dating
If
fucking
you-
Kelly Osbourne or Ashley Simpson or some shit.
I mean, same diff, right? They're the same person. If you didn't figure it out, that's who I share my birthday with, unfortunately.
What the guy from Fall Out Boy?
Fallout Boy number 1.
Hell yeah!
Patrick Stump. No, it's terrible.
No,
John
that's
Mayer?
awesome. Yeah, John Mayer.
John
He's
Mayer from
Fall Out
Fall Out Boy. He is,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
John Mayer did do a song with Fall Out Boy.
Did they really?
They did a cover of Thriller or Beat It. I forget which one that he's on.
Why? That's so weird.
I mean, after their second or third album, they got really bad.
I think you mean since their first album.
How dare you? It's the Fall Out Boy podcast from now on.
It is not. It is not a Fall Out Boy podcast.
Next week, we're just talking about Take This to Your Grave.
I don't know what that is.
Well, you're going to have to listen to it and figure it out. All right, you can listen to my other podcast, Let It Be Your Pot of Love. Don't watch any of this shit. Don't watch The Lock-In. Don't watch The Last Vampire on Earth. And I'm going to say, without watching it, don't watch Somnium.
Yeah, I think we'll be sad. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be the worst.
Watch House 2, A Second Story instead.
Deal.
All right, I hope you suffer, but why?
Did you meet Jesus?
Yeah, I saw him speak a few times.
I got nothing. I don't remember any lines from this movie anymore.
Christ shreds.
I don't have words anymore.
It's the second time
This
this month
movie
you
gave
said
me a brain.
I don't know words.
No words.
This was just bad.
Tonight, we are gathered here because this being has defiled that which we treasure most, that which is most holy, the greatest gift that has ever been given, the gift of blood. Jesus shed his blood for us on the stake so that we might be saved. And for this reason, we do not share in just blood. This creature has violated that gift in the most profane way. He feeds off our human blood so that he might live. This is wrong, and we cannot let this continue. We must protect ourselves and others from his evil. We must destroy him before he can further defile us with his evil. Are you with me?
Yeah!
Let's light the fires!
Fire! Stop or I'll shoot. This is a good man, and if you took the time to get to know him, you would find that out. He doesn't want to hurt us. He doesn't feed off of humans. He wants to help us. He wants to help find cures for diseases. He wants to help find a cure for diseases like AIDS. Maybe that doesn't mean much to you, but it means a lot to people like me who have it. That's right, I have AIDS and it's advancing very quickly. I don't have that much longer to live, and I will not hesitate to shoot someone for trying to kill Aurelius. I'm not afraid of punishment, death, or things I do not understand. All of you are afraid of him, not because you truly think he's evil, but because you don't understand what he is. What kind of Christian spirit is this? Would you do this to someone who has cancer? No, you would help them because they have a horrible disease. What makes him so different? Do you think he revels in what he's become? I'm not playing around.